The year in search. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us from Google is trends expert Jennifer Jones. Hi, Jennifer.
Hey Fred, how are you?
Terrific. Great to see you once again. And Google is closing out the year with kind of a recap of what was trending in searches. Let's start there. What led the way?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that this year is only 3 weeks away from being over. It may not surprise you that election 2024 dominated our news as far as searches this year. Election was actually the number one top result on Google search. Number two was actually President elect Donald Trump. And number three is surprising, a sneak in of Connections, which is the New York Times newest game in their online gaming portfolio.
Look out, Wordle, right?
That's right. Wordle did not make the list this year. Now, granted, we are doing what has increased in searches from the last year to this year. So this is really what is has the most increase from 2023 to 2024. So it doesn't mean that Wordle wasn't searched. It just didn't have as big of a volume of increase.
That explains why maybe Taylor Swift may not rank in the trends as much because she's always been up at the top
That's exactly right. You took the words out of my mouth. I mean, she's always popular, so it's not a surprise that she's not the top searched person.
in trends, right? So,
Correct.
is there more in the news category beyond the general search that we should learn about?
Definitely. So people come to Google to get more information about news stories that are developing and the latest from reliable sources in the news media. Election was also number one searched for news, followed by Copa America. So people were really still interested in sports after the election. And then number three is the Olympics, which garnered a lot of interest across several categories, including some of the top athletes, and as well as one of the top recipes that was searched for those chocolate muffins that are served in the Olympic Village.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
we'll turn to the people category, and we've already touched on a little bit, and I think there's some redundancy here too. Tell me about it.
Yeah, there is. So, not surprisingly, the top players that were part of the presidential election were among the top six that were searched for people. So, we've got President elect Trump, Vice President Harris, both of their running mates. Current President Joe Biden was in the top five. And to add into it, Princess Catherine of Wales was in that top. So she snuck in there right with all of those U.S. politicos.
Interesting. In the entertainment category, TV shows, what was trending this year?
Sure. So I think we're in a great golden era of television right now, and more than ever, I have found myself catching up with all of the TV shows. I did not know the top one this year, though. I have to admit, so it's on my list. It's a television show called Griselda, which Sofia Vergara is the lead there, and it's evidently about a female drug boss lord. So it sounds like it has a lot of drama, and I'm excited to watch it. It was followed by a documentary called Quiet on Set. Which is, the dark side of kids television that made a huge splash and a lot of noise in the media when it landed. And the third was Baby Reindeer, which I have not yet seen either. I've heard it's a little challenging to watch. It can be a little sad. So not sure I want to follow up with that one either.
It's interesting. And as you mentioned, this is kind of a golden era because of all of the streaming content out there and the competition among the shows that are being produced.
Absolutely. There's something for everybody. That is for sure.
What are some other categories that are really of interest and attracting the most interest?
You know, I found the biggest dichotomy in this list in the aesthetic trends. So I consider myself someone who again is online a lot, but I was very surprised by some of these. And it makes me laugh because they're things like the mob wife aesthetic, which is essentially just wearing very chic all black with either a faux or a real fur, big gold jewelry and a fancy handbag to be reminiscent to a mob boss wife. And then you have a trend called the office siren, where you have tapered suits and, almost a menswear category that's very polished and buttoned up, not at all garish as a mob wife aesthetic would be. And then, of course, Charlie XCX stormed onto the scene again this year, and the brat aesthetic, which is sort of the party girl aesthetic. Think smudged eyeliner and clothes you can dance in, and maybe something that you wore to the club. Those were all in the top 5, and just the disparity in those really, really made me laugh.
That's cool. So where can people go to take a look at all of these?
So glad you asked. You can always go to yearinsearch.google, and you can find what's trending in your neighborhood and what is trending globally.
Terrific. Jennifer Jones, thank you so much for spending time with us, and have a great holiday season.
You too, Fred. Thanks.